So you wake up one morning, you have a superpower to take one fashion trend away forever and replace it with another. What would it be and why? Yeah.
I hate Crocs. I need them to burn. I need them to remain in the house. I would replace Crocs, I don't know, with like a loafer.
I hope you don't get dragged for this though. As someone that has watched all these shows and someone that documents fashion, what do you think of Ugandan red carpet fashion and etiquette? They say a perfect YouTube intro doesn't exist, but for today's edition of Thrive with Mulungi, I have a perfect guest. In case it's the time you've landed on this channel and you're wondering, what is this all about? Well, over here, conversations thrive. And my name is Mulungi. You and I get to meet people and talk through life. And today I am so humbled, and I'm choosing my words very, very closely because the person I'm hosting today is, and I would love to say this to her, she is a powerhouse when it comes to fashion, and a friend that I've known for a very long time, and adulting happened to us. So please welcome with me Lyn Atwiine, who is no stranger to some of you who watch Satisfashion Ug. You've probably read her blogs or even saw some of her photos. She had a stint with photography over there, and then after some time she just disappeared. Then she came back like she never left. It gave those times when we would book seats in primary, for those of you that attended Ugandan schools, and you write, Lyn was here. And then you go away and then you come back and everyone is like, that's Lyn's seat. So today on Thrive with Mulungi, Lyn is going to be with me and we're going to get to know her a bit better. What is it like to be a fashion blogger, you know, someone that attends Bridgerton themed events and all of that stuff. Lyn, you're very welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you
what
feeling?
An introduction.
How are you feeling now that you're on the other side?
It's very odd to be on the other side. I'm so used to being so prepared and ready for the guest and trying to put them at ease. And so now being the one who is, you know, being told, oh, relax, you know, we've got you.
You look
like,
lovely.
oh, okay.
Which is, I think, the irony of life. 1 minute you are ready, you are prepared, and then the next minute, yeah, you're wondering where all the motivation goes. But don't worry, we don't bite over here.
Yeah. I love your set though, it's so pretty.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will have the conversation about that set a bit later. Yeah. So before we even go any further, I would like to affirm you and say that I know that time has gone. You know, like there was a time where our friendship was like, and then like I said, adult friendships happened, life happened, but I think that you are one of the people that consistently stayed stylish right from those ends.
Thank you.
You know, like those ends when sometimes it will feel like we are forcing fashion, we are forcing trends, and to see that, you know, you have stayed consistent. It's not forced, it's there. Like it's there, and the fact that you still hold the light to document fashion in Uganda and all of these beautiful experiences, using your own platform, but also working with brands to make sure that, you know, in a day and age where magazines are fading away, I think that the work that you do is very valuable, and I'm very proud of you for having gone through life and stayed.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh my goodness. You know, when you say, you know, the affirming part about staying stylish, it's like, for me, I don't see myself as like the most stylish person. So you say that, I'm like, oh, wait. Okay.
That's the thing about fashion though. I think that at the end of the day, it's how we express ourselves. You don't have to be, no offense to you, I absolutely love your fashion. You don't have to be like swanky to be stylish, yet being swanky makes him stylish. I think that the fact that you even document those to just show us that the fashion and style is it's you can, yeah, we can just show up as ourselves and show up as we feel. A white shirt and jeans, that's stylish. And brass, or I love that. I love the fact that you get to show us that there's different ways to express ourselves, especially in a world of beauty standards. So whoever doesn't feel like she's stylish, you come in the comment sections. Let's fight. Let's tussle it out. But I'm sure I'll win. So we do something on Thrive with Mulungi, where I ask you 10 questions in 30 seconds. We call it 10 in 30.
Oh, fun. Okay, I'm ready.
So you're going to answer them real quick, the first thing that comes to your mind, and then we're good to go. But I must say today there is a special addition. One of the producers asked me to slide in one. So just putting it out there for you, Gloria, that I represented. Are you ready? So you're going to look right over there so that no one says, wherever Alan wants us to look, so that no one says that, they showed her the questions before she came in. Are you ready for us to start? Okay, Lynn, top 5 Ugandan fashion icons for you.
I would say top 5, Sylvia Wari, Gloria Wavamuno, Gloria Haguma, Lucy Bunyenyezi, and who's the fifth? Yamawe, Nabagirika, Queen.
She brings it. She brings it.
Let's go.
So you wake up one morning, you have a superpower to take one fashion trend away forever and replace it with another. What would it
replace
be
it?
And why? Yeah.
This is controversial because I feel like, I don't know. Replace one fashion trend with another. I hate Crocs. I need them to burn. I need them to remain in the house. I will replace Crocs, I don't know, with like a loafer, something. Yeah.
For outside the house, for forever, ever.
Exactly.
Okay. Dating in Kampala feels like?
I don't know if my face makes this serves as an answer, but it feels like that.
We'll read the expression.
Yeah.
Indeed. Complete the sentence. Yes, I'm judging you if you do this.
Yes, I'm judging you if you're judging someone else. Yes, I am.
Reciprocity,
absolutely. What was? No, but like sometimes people's choices are people's choices. If it's not hurting you, keep it pushing.
All right. Designer items or comfortable items?
A mix of both. Come on. Because designer is like just made so well, made with love, made with intention. And then comfort items, need to be comfy.
My must-have fashion pieces are?
Must-have fashion pieces, I'd say a kimono, a pair of heels, and jewelry. Absolutely.
All right. You can never be caught doing this.
That's random. I'd never be caught doing what? Wearing Crocs. It's stuck to bed.
My Crocs peeps. I had no idea this was coming. Underrated food combo?
Pineapple and pork. Pineapple and pork. They're best friends. Absolutely love it.
I've known them as marinades, but I will try it out one of these days. One thing you won't get keep?
A service provider. If I know a good hair person, a good makeup artist, whoever's done a good event plan. Hey, please.
Plug in the number. Least favorite app?
Right now, controversially, Instagram. It's not what it used to be. I loved Instagram. X.
So
Twitter
2
died.
for 2.
Yeah, 2 for, yeah.
And for Gloria's, bonus question.
Okay.
Were the 90s the greatest fashion decade? And should we bring them back?
No. I think they were very bold, but I think the greatest fashion decade, I would say for me, is the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a Namuka Days approval. Alan definitely approves. I won't say much.
Yeah.
Those are your choices, but thank you for playing the game. See, you haven't died.
I haven't died. It was very, very,
surviving 10 in 30. That would be the hashtag. So, Lynn, just to reintroduce you, what would you want for us to know about you growing up? What kind of child were you?
Me growing up? Okay, starting with the basis of I was a last born, only girl. So I kind of, ruled the house. I did my own thing, and, everyone was like, but Lynn has done it, So I would say to some extent I was a little bit spoiled, but also very, creative. I love to read. Yeah, I kind of miss that about myself now. I don't read as much as I used to. And I don't know what else.
School. What was it like growing up?
Growing up, I grew up with asthma and eczema. And so for me, school was one of those things that I was in and out the entire time. In and out, in and out. I was first name basis with my doctors and all that. But oddly enough, I stayed like the top of the class because I kept, like whenever I'd come back, I'd feel like I need to like overcompensate. So I would, be down for like a week or something like that. Then I'd come back full force, copying notes, tutors, etc. I hated math, but I had to like do so much more so that I would stay, kind of top of the class and top of my game. And I think that was the kind of kid I was. Really affected my friendships, but at least when you're younger, it's easy because you're all in school.
The proximity.
But that continued on growing up because I have that habit when I will disappear and then come back. So
So if you have been ghosted by Lynn, I think we need to create like a WhatsApp group. And you know that this has been since she was young. And I'm saying that looking straight into the camera because, sometimes I don't know what you think of the notion of be kind. Some people are going through something. What? Because now you imagine having to explain that to almost everyone. Sorry, I had to go AWOL because my health.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, like I always talk about like the low maintenance friend because I'm that type of person. Yeah, we're on good terms and we might have drifted apart. Hit me up, I'm here for you. So it's always that. Those who don't understand it, it's fine. Peace and love. If you need more attention, more energy, I understand it won't be coming from here. But then I'm the type, but if I'm here, I'm here. Yeah. So,
as someone that recently got a diagnosis for a chronic illness, which sort of helped me piece a lot of things together, don't you ever sometimes feel like you're the burden? Like you're constantly unwell, you have to close out a lot of things. What has that been like for you, and how has been navigating it like for you?
I think because I grew up with that kind of, that kind of situation from a young age, I've learned very quickly to be as self-sufficient as possible. But I think the time when I felt it for real was when I was in O-level, because I was in like this boarding school, traditional school. Like I was in that kind of space where it's like, we have created this community, we have this flow of things, why are you not participating?
Why are you the anomaly?
Like, why do we have to take you to, like, it would reach a point where people are whispering among themselves and they're like, maybe she's even faking it. I was like, I wish I was. But apart from that particular chunk of my life, I've mostly, I felt that feeling of like being a burden. And so I would just respond to it by like, again, introspective, doing it myself, handling everything and trying not to bother people. That's what I'd call it, bother.
I can relate. Yet sometimes everyone is like, tell us, we want to hold space for you. And then you're like, so how much space are you going to hold for me?
Because it's a lot. But then, you actually get into it and you're like, you know what, I can deal with it. It's okay. Thanks.
So at what point, because you've mentioned you are a creative, when did Fashion Lyn launch? When did you discover that, you know what, I love fashion, this is something for me, and I would want to pursue? Because for most of us, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I actually used to sketch for fashion with a friend then, Grace Nafona. We would do fashion sketches. We tried to get into modeling, but we were both short, so we couldn't make it. And like so many of us get our dreams dying off. But how are you able, African parents and all?
I know. Oh my goodness. I actually found a way around that. But my journey with fashion is, should I say I was a Nepo baby?
You know what I mean?
Because I grew up, by the time I was born, my mom had a menswear boutique. And it's still around, by the way.
Plug her, shamelessly plug her.
Those who remember it was called Riviera Fashions, but now it's Mr. T. In the middle of Kampala, in Jumbo Plaza on Parliament Avenue. So if you're around, But, clothes, well-made suits from Italy, shoes, like people who are really impeccably dressed. And I remember when we moved to Jumbo Plaza, at that time it was around like 2005. And me, I used to be like, she was a working mom. So I would go with her to work, blah, blah, blah. I was in the space. But Jumbo Plaza was a different beast because at the time it was the hot spot. There was Lords and Ladies, there was Mega Pix, there was, a few other boutiques. It was a place where you'd go and celebrity watch, first of all. And, it was one of those things, and I would see people and I would be like, wow, you're so fabulous. Oh my goodness. And I'd go and get my hair done at Lords and Ladies. And I would also feel like a tiny child like this, but I'm like, Martin is the one who did my hair, no one else. And that's like freaking award-winning, hairdresser. And I'm like, he's the only one who, blow dries me and I don't feel pain. So it's Martin who will do my hair. So it was that whole space. And I remember during that time, I was like, I really want to wear heels. I want to wear heels. And like, they, got me these little block, tiny things. But like, I was obsessed with that. I played with the dolls. I was watching Style Network, Fashion TV. And I remember at some point, there's a bit of a rebellion that came through with the fashion stuff. Because my brothers would come and dominate TV time and be like, no, it's Champions League time. It's La Liga. We need to watch this. It's like, the entire world has fallen down. I was like, okay, it's New York Fashion Week. Shift. It's the Met Gala. And to this day, the first Monday in May, I'm locked in. I'm like, it's the Met Gala. This is my Champions League, okay? Move. And so like I also started taking it a lot more seriously. And I did a lot of things over the years. The sketches that you talk about. I drew so much. Wanted to be a fashion designer at some point. When I was 12, I went to a jewelry making school, and there was a fashion school in Katwe called Jewels. I went there, and a Kenyan lady called Maimuna taught me how to make necklaces, jewelry, bracelets, blah, blah, blah. And like, in and out, it's been something that I just like have in my back pocket, but I haven't really, used.
Explored.
And then, by the time I was getting into A-level, I was just like, I want to be creative. I had gone from that traditional school and I was like, I'm tired of the traditional school space. Please, I need to thrive. So I go to this international school where literally my brothers had been the entire time. So they even, the teachers called me lost sheep. They're like, oh, you've come back home. Because my brothers went through it from primary all the way to blah, blah, blah. But me, I came in A-level and I was like, I'm going to do literature, fine art, French. And my mom's like, no, some like economics,
some history,
no,
geography somewhere.
I want literature. I want to read my books. I want to speak French, because in my mind, I was going to go and study in like a French school, a fashion school in France, and then and then fine art. And you know, I did the thing. I thrived. I was happy. I was, you know, in a space that cultivated that, because it was a space where it's like, if they see that this is the thing that you do well, 2000%, they're going to put all that energy there. And so, yeah, it was a great, great, great time. In my mind, I'm like, I wish I came here earlier. But yeah, and then we come out, reality hits that I cannot spare a kidney every year. to study in France. So I pivoted and did journalism. Yeah, with all intention of being a journalist in the fashion space, though. I did not want to.
You didn't want to come and break news for us.
I did not want to go and follow the riots, the what. Shout out to those journalists. You guys are doing an important job.
You really are.
But I cannot manage. I'm not built for that. So yeah, that was how I ended up how I am.
Where you are now. I want to just, I hope you don't get drugged for this though. As someone that has watched all these shows and someone that documents fashion, what do you think of Ugandan red carpet fashion and etiquette?
And etiquette. Thank you for saying etiquette. I think I'll talk about the etiquette first. You know, the most recent place I was at was the Icon Awards, and they had attempted to do this thing where they had a press box. And with a press box, all the Banama Ulide, we are supposed to go behind there with our cameras, with our microphones, with whatever, and then wait as a celebrity comes through, ask them the questions. You've seen like those red carpets of like the Oscars or something, where they go one by one answering questions and stuff like that. That's what they had attempted. We were everywhere. We were just here, there, and
microphone here, microphone
microphone there. You're taking a photo. There's another photographer in your shot. Blah blah blah. And so it was chaotic. And in my mind, I'm like, but they had put a press box. But you can't just go there alone. With your Mputumbu. I've come to
interview.
Nah. So
is it an issue of organization or just us not being aware of what you're supposed to do on the red carpet?
It's the latter. It's like a culture thing. So people may not have, had the background of like, oh, this is what, red carpet is supposed to be, or how it's supposed to look like. Everyone has their own agenda of what they want the shot to look like. So you're not going to come and tell someone, no, don't go there. It's like, I have a press tag. I can go anywhere, Exactly. So yeah, on the etiquette part, that was just one random one that I noticed. It was so interesting.
How about for us, the guests?
The guests. I mean,
say it.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Are we going by the themes?
We are. We are actually going by the themes. Sometimes it's like, they do what they want as long as they shine. That's fine. But I feel like how seriously people take a red carpet has to do also with the organizer, which is why I've been for the longest time just like crying for like the ASFAs to come back. Because it was that space that cultivated the expectation of going above and beyond, But also I think I really enjoy like Icons, red carpet. And also like there's some red carpets where people like, they really respect it and they're like, you guys, let me call my people, let me call a glam squad and stuff like that. And then there are other places where it's like, how was your Sunday dress? That's just so for real.
At least you're doing better than some of our neighbors.
I mean, that's true.
I won't mention the country.
No.
Moving on. Because I don't want to get as petty yet. I want to go to why you took a break. Why you just And then you come back and you're teaching us, especially for those of us that follow you on Instagram, you're telling us about TSW or topical steroid withdrawal. And, you know, like everyone, of course, like some of the people that kept on checking in knew, and someone that had a background of having had eczema and asthma, how did that even come into play? Because sometimes I remember there's this conversation of, how come there are so many people being diagnosed with these things? There's something in the vaccines, etc. You know, you come up with you're given a diagnosis and you can barely pronounce it.
Right.
What was that like for you?
Now, TSW is something I stumbled upon because for a while I had been staying at home, and, you know, I kept getting worse. And with getting worse, I kept going back to doctors. I'll be like, hey, you know, I've been using this, I've been using that, but my skin is bad. I have like persistent rashes. Like, people with eczema know that it's usually localized in a few places, like your elbows, your neck, maybe the back of your knees. Now for me, it was like kind of spreading. Like, it's like going on my hands, it's down my leg, it's, you know, in different places. And I'm just like, this is very uncomfortable. So I'd go to the doctor and they'll just prescribe a stronger steroid. And at some point, you know, even I knew that they were not good for me to use all the time. So I would try and like use today, maybe skip 2 days, blah, blah, blah. Now, the day that I decided to, you know, withdraw, essentially, was I had come back from, you know, I stayed, it was in Entebbe, so there's like a nice nook that I like to go to, like a restaurant. It was really cute, really quiet, with my laptop, do my work, go back home. So I had just gotten back home and I was on fire, head to toe on fire. And I'm like, what's going on? So I rummage in my drawer and I take out the tube, it's completely empty. I'm just from out. So I'm like, I can't go back out. I call my mom, I'm like, on your way home, please bring, you know, a refill. She's like, okay. So during that time, remember, I have nothing to relieve the fire. Call me, I'm on Google. I'm on Reddit, and Reddit is the one that actually really got me, because I remember, you know, there are a lot of different chat rooms. Yes. And there was one for eczema that I used to like consistently be in and like check what are people, you know, dealing with, what are their solutions, etc. And at some point I had seen something where they were like, someone was commenting to someone, be careful about using steroids too much, you might get TSW, and they had linked to a TSW community. Yeah. So I clicked the link, I got to the TSW community, girl. It was crazy. And so I start searching about that on its own, like just like on the Googles and everything. And it's basically, you know, you have been using this very heavy steroid, you get off it completely, and then your skin just like, it's okay, what people consider it is like a purging. But the thing is, that was a very dumb thing for me to do. I was not supposed to do that. But I had reached such a point of like low trust in like the doctors, because I'm like, I need help, and you just keep telling me to get back on this thing. Yeah. So I quit cold turkey. And remember, your body is used to a particular level of cortisol, and now it's dropped to this. That year, it started around October 2021, and in my mind I was like, oh, like 3 months. I'll be good. I was not good. And like in that time, remember, we were still like partially locked down. There was that 7 p.m. thing. Yes. And as an interview person, it was very hard for me to be part of Kampala ongoing. Because 7 p.m. had to find you home. Right. So in my mind, I'm like, you know what, by the time the year begins, they will have lifted the lockdown. I'll be looking brand new, Oh, hey, you guy. My skin did like on 2000. Wow. I had the symptoms of eczema. Like, you see how my neck is a little bit darker? Head to toe, that. It was just my palms, the bottom of my feet, and oddly enough, my nose. Those were the only parts of my body that still looked like me. Everything else was completely dark. It was scaly. I have red undertones. I looked gray. I looked sickly. I was badly off. I lost weight. That was like the only part that I kind of liked about it. Because like high cortisol, you hold water weight and I lost like 12 kilos that year. Girl, the waist was wasting. Hello. It was giving, but I couldn't.
The skin couldn't
allow it. And it was so frustrating. But like there were so many other weird things I dealt with. Insomnia.
Oh wow.
I couldn't sleep at night.
And was it the itch? Was it the burn and the irritation as well?
The itch. Like, you know, right now I have artificial nails. I couldn't have my natural nails at that time. Actually, to this day, like I just keep, doing the blah, 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 because I'm scared of actually having my natural nail would cut. So I had to go, like, in my ashiness, my nail tech was one of the people who saw me throughout the entire process. And so but like at night it was very bad. Very, very bad. And for most people with eczema, they know nights, and I think also other illnesses.
Generally, because the body apparently is supposed to be healing itself, but also remember the heat, and then you are in one place. You have to process everything at a go.
Let me tell you, nights were so bad. I would sleep at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. Like the sun would be coming up, and that's when I would be getting sleep. I would sleep until midday. Then I'd wake up at midday and start my day looking white as a ghost, like ashy, like dead skin. Yeah, and my mom even said that seeing that was like proof for her of that Bible quote of dust to dust. She's like, the girl is dust. I have agreed that God made us from dirt. Like, yeah, it was gory.
Mom's got jokes.
Let me tell you. What? Yep. It was one of those. Let me see what else. I didn't sweat.
So it's not contagious?
No, it's not contagious. Yeah.
You were just really going through it.
It was
by
bad.
Yourself. How long did it go on for?
Yeah. It would have been more if I did not like actually search for like an actual other solution. Because again, my biggest reliance was that Reddit community. That was the only place where I saw people actually talking about it. So I was seeing people and hearing them giving their experiences about like different, medical trials that they're doing and blah, blah, blah. But at some point I was like, I feel like we need to investigate the why.
Yes.
That was where my tiredness came from. I was like, why am I itchy? Why am I reacting like this? And so, I went again
back
to the doctors. And I'm just like, okay, let's see which doctors are the ones that have the answers. There's a particular clinic that when I was searching them up and stuff like that, they showed that they had red light therapy among the things that they offered. So in my mind, I'm like, I feel like these guys would get it, because red light, for some reason, amazing for a situation like that. Amazing for your skin. And for me, it was one of those things I could put on a red light and actually sleep. Like to this day, I sleep with a red light on. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, let me try this place. We go there. The guy, he listens to me talk. He's like, now it seems like for you, your problem, you are just Googling a lot. Now what we're going to do, this and this and this, I'm going to prescribe for you these things. So he's prescribing on the computer. I'm like, what's that medicine, doctor? Please explain it to me. He's like, don't worry about it. Please.
Sir, I have trust issues. What do you
What do you mean? So he's like, don't worry about it. Call me. I open my phone. I do like this, like this. It's a steroid. I'm like, I can't get on a steroid again. And it's not that I was not willing to get on steroids again, but I did not want to get on them as the solution. I needed them as a step towards the solution. I want to know why I'm like this, first of all. So we leave. You know, we find, you know, my mom is asking around. We have 2 other options. But one of the options, I hear the word blood tests.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh? I feel like that makes sense for me. Let's go there and try it out. So yeah, that's how I ended up at Unity Skin Clinic. Sat down with Dr. Malik. He listened. He understood. He said, you know what? Let's get you in the lab. With how scaly my skin was, I don't know how they found a vein, but they found one. And they did a comprehensive allergy panel. They couldn't do everything, but they did for the major things. And they found out that like there was one thing that my body was strongly reacting to, which was dust mites. Yeah, dust essentially. And so it's like, as someone who is living in a house that is over 30 years old, like there are those things where even if you clean, like there are those things in,
plus we are in
the ceilings, the what, Uganda. Let me tell you, just know it was one of those things where, you know, seeing the scale of the things that you're allergic to, and like this thing was like on 3,000. I'm like, hey, okay. And found out that my white blood cells were working overtime. And that's how the autoimmune situation, So they put me on a treatment to reduce the white blood cells, but they also put me on the steroids. They also put me on antihistamines, the anti-allergy medicines. So for those who like are aware of like anti-allergy, like a cetirizine or something like that, they're used to taking like 1 times 1. Babe, I was taking morning, I was taking an evening dose. Like it was that intensive. And of course, over time, you know, we reduced. I went to see this man, I think in January of 2023. By my birthday in February, I looked like myself again. So yeah, you know, it was quite a journey. Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you're able to fight through. You know, again, most doctors, I don't know why, hate it when you walk in and you sort of have an idea.
Oh, yeah.
Or you are like, but before you put me on hormonal pills, before you tell me to get pregnant.
There's a part I forgot to tell you.
What happened?
This is like, doctor. So I'm like, I don't want steroids. We don't want steroids, blah, blah, blah. He's like, if you don't want steroids, there's an experimental medicine. They are biologic. They, you know, deal with like your RNA, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, tell me more. And these were things that I had seen in the Reddit. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this might be pricey, but like, let's talk.
Let's see.
So this guy starts talking. And then the thing that like shocked me, he switched from talking to me as a person and he started calling me the client. So when the client comes in, we'll give you that one injection, I think a month or like every 2 weeks. But the injection is for 1 million. So now for him, he was counting money.
Yes.
To the extent that he started calling me the client. I was like, a big client. But really, you refuse to listen.
There has to be something else. You know, why for me this conversation is very important, Lynn, is we are in an era where, you know, we've both been influencers before. We both create content, but there is this push. You have hyperpigmentation, use this. You have like, and I'm not saying it's wrong for us to have, you know, information on our very own, but for me, in the wake of that, a community that was able to say, hey, how about you try ABCD? What would you say to us, you know, that are constantly, there's products that are constantly thrown in our faces, and I'm not attributing TSW to, you know, what you went through, but I was just there thinking like, how many of us without even clear guidance are jumping onto everything that is being presented to us? And then what's our responsibility as influencers?
Now, I think it's a big thing for the people who are consuming this content. Before you're putting your money somewhere, I feel like it's important to do your due diligence. Like, just do a little Google search, learn about the things that they're trying to sell you.
Yeah.
You know, it's good you mentioned hyperpigmentation. They're selling people bleaching creams and they're saying they're brightening. And, you know, if you're not so keen, you'll find yourself putting very harmful chemicals in your body. So I don't know about calling out influencers, because to some extent it's like a bag is a bag.
Where is the line though?
No, the thing is this, there are those influencers who really actually care about their audiences and they care about the process.
Yes.
I want to shout out one, Caroline Cash. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, she goes through the process. She's not going to go to a place today, come back and tell you these products are so amazing, blah, blah, blah. No, she's like, you guys, hold on. I've just gotten the products. Yeah. Let me use them. I'll let you know how, you know, etc.
So we need to have more integrity as we navigate the bag.
Yeah. And I think to some extent, we are in an era where so many people see the opportunities that come with being an influencer. Yeah. And they forget the core of what it is, because at the core of it all, like, let's say the time when I used to talk about natural hair, it was me exploring and what's it called?
Just like I think it was like a phase as well where you were learning about your natural hair, so you were taking us through that journey with you.
Yes, rather than just being like, hey, there's this moisturizer that's really good for your hair. No, this moisturizer is the best for your hair. It's like, what is it?
What is it? So you have 2 questions for me. Shoot.
Yes. What brings you the most happiness in life right now?
I know my co-hosts, if you watch this, do not say Manisetamo, please. Do not do it. I think that I have been given so much. And that gives me so much joy. Like, there's just support on every side. I mean, even in this room.
Yeah.
Alan is my biggest fan. But yeah, I feel like life has given me so many hard knocks, but I've also experienced love in its most core, and that brings me so much joy, actually, beyond happiness. Yeah. If you know what I mean. Yeah. That really it does.
Good to hear that.
Thank you.
The second question. I don't know if I remember how I phrased it.
Please,
let me just check real quick.
Yes.
What mindsets have you had to change in order to live life on your terms?
How long do we have? One, I've had to make very painful decisions to walk away. You know, I used to be like a very deep church girl. I've had to sort of walk away from the paths that made me, so that there's someone that said something really deep about how our coping mechanisms that worked back then sometimes we have to let them go. So for me, one has been sort of walking away from organized religion. I've fully embraced that I'm not going to be like everyone else. I mean, just like you, when you were telling me about your story growing up, I always felt like, why can't I be like so and so? But I've come into the full realization that, you know what, I am Faith Mulungi and life is very different for me, and it's okay. I've also really embraced being a feminist. Nothing gives me drive like being a feminist. Not to mania women empowerment. No, I am a feminist. No ifs, no buts. But I've also learned the concept of rest. Rest being resistance. I think those ones could work. Yes.
I'd love to talk more about like the living organized religion thing, because but I feel like that's too hot
you'll come back, sis. You'll come back. This was just an intro. But very quickly, how can we connect with Satisfashion and all of that, just to plug it?
Satisfashionug.com. If you like to read, there's a website for you. If you love to watch, Satisfashion Ug TV on YouTube. But there's also Satisfashion Ug on TikTok. There's clips, whatever. Instagram, if you want the inspo, if you want to see who is just the hottest, what, go there. So we're basically everywhere on the internet. And me personally, it's just Atwiine with a 3.
Yeah,
on the internet.
Bougie like that. Thank you so much, babe, for making time.
We
will come back and get into the trauma of living organized religion and all of that. But thank you so much for watching. And please do, one of the things that I know is she's very active online. So in case you have any other questions that you feel like weren't asked, you can just drop them in the comments and Lyn will be very gracious enough to respond to them. Catch you in the next episode. Love you. Bye.